Welcome to Money, Manifestation, and Business, the podcast that shows you how to use your energy, intention, and consciousness to reprogram your money mindset, unleash a new level of possibility, and create a life and business that lights you up. I'm your host, Jamie Berman, and I invite you to join me each week for a dose of inspiration, coaching, and teachings to help you rewrite your money story, create abundance on your terms, and grow your business in a way that's fully aligned for you. This is going to be so much fun. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the podcast, my friend. Let's talk about a faster way to make more money in your business. And we want to talk about a side of the equation that I haven't talked about too much here on the podcast. Of course, I've touched on it, but I want to dive deeper into it, which is all about solving expensive problems in your business as a way to have a more successful business, grow, convert clients easier, allow money to flow in with greater ease. Now, so much of what I have shared, of course, on the podcast in the past and throughout a lot of the work that I do is the internal work that's important in terms of making more money, which is things like your relationship with money, your nervous system capacity, your availability to receive. Do you feel comfortable receiving, right? A lot of this internal stuff, your beliefs about money, your beliefs about yourself, your beliefs about what's possible. All of this matters in a massive, massive way. But making money and creating income is kind of an equation, and that's one side of it. And that is one side that I highly recommend you dive deep into because there's a huge impact. I've helped hundreds of clients change their relationship with money and make more money as a side effect. But if you are running a business, that's only a portion of it, right? It's not only, it's a huge portion of it. But what also matters, and I always teach this in my program, is that income equals the beliefs and that internal capacity that you have, your relationship with money, times value creation, times external value. So that's what I want to talk about today is why the external value matters. Let me talk about what the difference is between each. So again, income equals internal capacity times external value. Internal capacity is things like beliefs, emotional capacity, willingness to receive, relationship with money, nervous system regulation, times external values. That's the problems that you're solving, the results that are created through the work that you do with people, the usefulness of the work that you do, right? It's what kind of problem are you helping someone solve and what's the urgency there? Is it an expensive problem? That's what we're going to talk about today. Now, if either side of those are low, income tends to plateau. And so we always want to be on the lookout in terms of like, what are our beliefs about money, regulating the nervous system around money, expanding our capacity to receive. But we also want to look at value creation. And is what we are putting out into the world something people really want? Is it an expensive problem? Because if it's an expensive problem, money is going to flow so much smoother and faster and cleaner. Money flows towards solutions in business. I'm going to say that again. Money flows towards solutions. So when people pay something, it's because they're hurting. It feels urgent for them. It saves them time. It saves them money, or it moves them towards something that they deeply want. And I want to talk about why some businesses make more money than others. Some businesses solve interesting problems while others solve expensive problems. So let's talk about the differences. I'm going to give you an example of each. An interesting problem might be something like, I help people explore their creativity, right? That's interesting. That's very interesting. It's also beautiful, but it's not something that most people are either hurting around, feel urgent towards, not saving them time, it's not really saving them money, and it's not always moving them towards something they deeply want. Or it's not really what people are thinking about, right? It's not something someone's thinking, this is something I really want to pay for, right? They're not Googling, how do I explore my creativity? And if they are, they're probably reading articles on it and applying it here or there. They're probably not deeply invested in that. They're probably not willing to pay high ticket for exploring their creativity, right? So there's a different way to package something like that, where of course, if that's what you love to teach, you love teaching exploring creativity, it's like, yeah, but what is the result of that, right? What is something that helps someone actually solve that they're really wanting? How do we turn that into a more expensive problem? If exploring creativity is part of your zone of genius and it's a part of what you want to do in the world, we have to look at how we're positioning it and marketing it in a way that it's reaching people who are willing to pay for that. And we're not going to say it as exploring creativity, right? We're going to put it in other words. Like, what is the end result of that, right? So I'm just going to throw out a random example, right? It might be like, by exploring someone's creativity, they reduce anxiety by 50%. When they tap into their creativity and they start prioritizing it and they start utilizing that part of their brain, anxiety goes down. So then whenever you package it as reduce anxiety by 50%, that's a problem someone's willing to invest in. That right there is an expensive problem. And the way through it is by exploring their creativity. So you're essentially doing the same thing, but you are solving a specific problem that people are looking for. And this is just me throwing out a random example. So notice how one of those is an expensive problem. Having massive anxiety and wanting to reduce it by 50% is a big problem people are looking to solve. Just exploring creativity is not. That's interesting, but it's not expensive. So that's where I'm going to give you some questions that you can ask yourself to explore. How can I position this in a way and talk to the people who would invest in this and where it would solve something that really speaks to them? Now, for those of you who love structure and love a framework, I have a framework that you can think about when reflecting on this. So the expensive problem framework is made up of 5 different things. The 5 different things are making money, health, relationships, time and efficiency, and emotional relief. All right. So when you're thinking about the problem that you're helping people solve and turning it into an expensive problem, does it have to do with helping them maybe make more money, improving their health, improving their relationships, helping them around time and being more efficient and more productive? Or is it giving them emotional relief? Let me kind of dive into which each of those are. Making money. Examples. Is it going to help them grow their business, increase revenue, get more clients, improve sales? These are all some of the most investable problems. These are expensive problems. When it comes to health, maybe it's about losing weight or increasing energy, reducing pain, improving longevity. Right? These are the things that people are looking to. They are Googling, they are wanting to invest in. Health is incredibly valuable to people. Relationships, improving communication, saving a marriage, dating, a peaceful divorce, parenting. These are all deeply emotional problems that people care about solving and really want to invest in. Time and efficiency. Systems, organization, productivity, delegation. People will pay to get time back. Number 5 was emotional relief. Anxiety, like the example that I gave. Burnout, stress, confidence. People will invest in feeling better in their lives. Okay, so I have some powerful questions that you can ask yourself to think about. How can I position my offer or my product or program in a way that is solving a more expensive problem for people. Because again, that's going to make business flow so much more. It's going to help people understand what you do and invest in what you do to actually get the results that they're really wanting. So I'm going to offer 2 different questions that you can reflect on, and you might want to come back to this, journal on these questions. So here's a question. If someone hired you tomorrow, what problem would disappear or get significantly better in their life? The second question is, how urgently do they want that problem solved? This is a big one, because urgency is often what drives people to invest. So again, you want to be thinking about talking about your program, product, offer in a way that speaks to what people really want and what people are really ready for. They're really ready to invest in. And we're going to talk about the alignment piece, because we're not just going to go to, let's talk about some random problem that doesn't resonate with us at all, that's totally out of alignment and not part of our purpose, right? Because the alignment is important. Solving expensive problems does not mean abandoning your purpose. It means asking, how does the work I love to do help someone solve a meaningful problem? So for example, instead of I help people find alignment or I help people get unstuck, it becomes I help entrepreneurs clear the mental and emotional blocks that are keeping them from growing their businesses. It's the same heart, but there's a clearer impact with the second one. And this matters. This matters a lot. And it matters a lot right now, specifically in 2026, in the way that the market is and the way people are buying. I've seen it firsthand. Your messaging really matters. I'm just finding that right now, people are being more thoughtful about where they're investing their money. So businesses that clearly solve real problems tend to grow faster. And it really goes hand in hand with what I share about your desires. I always say this about manifestation. I get the quote from Jack Canfield, and he always says, vague goals equal vague results. Clear goals create clear results. And so when you have a clear vision for what you want, you are going to attract it so much better than if you have a very vague vision of what you want. The same applies with messaging. Vague messaging gets you vague results. It's a lot harder to sell. It's like pulling teeth to sell. But clearer messaging, solving an expensive problem, telling people exactly what you do, speaking to someone specifically, niching down to something more specific is actually gonna get you better results. It's gonna be a lot easier to sell from that place, right? So specific messaging is gonna get you better results. So I'm going to give you a couple of reflection questions that you can think about as you're diving into this. Number 1, what problem does my work solve? Number 2, who specifically has this problem? 3, how urgently do they want help solving it? So if you're finding that this might be the piece of the puzzle that you want to improve upon or tweak in your business, I'm going to give you a couple more questions that you can reflect on. And it will help you solve this. It will help you think about it. And just know that, yes, this is going to make your brain hurt a little bit. It'll get you thinking. It might even get you overwhelmed or in a little bit of resistance. I know at least that's typically what happens for me, but that's not a problem, right? I would ask yourself these questions and just let yourself meditate on it. Let yourself test things out. Let yourself make slight tweaks and see how it helps, see how it improves. Because a lot of times this is what's missing for people is that they're have an amazing relationship with money. They've improved their capacity to receive. Maybe you've made money through all different channels and the abundance is flowing, but you feel like I can make more in my business. It feels capped. It feels like kind of a struggle to convert, a struggle to sell. And in that case, this tweak is going to be really helpful. So think about these questions, reflect on them, and let yourself refine and tweak, right? And honestly, this is something you'll probably be doing throughout your business, because sometimes what worked 2 years ago and the messaging that worked then is not going to work now, right? So I'm always thinking about this and I'm always refining and tweaking. So questions. Number 1, what problem does my work solve? Number 2, who specifically has that problem? Get really specific. 3, how urgently do they want help solving it? And number 4, this one's a big one. How clearly am I communicating the solution? Do a little audit. Go back and look at, your past marketing content or past launches or past consult calls or however you sell, and really audit and look at how clearly did I communicate my solution? And think about how urgently did they want help solving it? Was I speaking to the right person? Or was I trying to speak to everyone? Was I speaking to someone specific? Right? Do I really know exactly that exact problem that my work solves, right? So reflect on these things. It's going to be incredibly helpful. Now, one of the most empowering things about business is that making money is often a reflection of the value you create in the world. And when you focus on solving these meaningful problems, money becomes a natural byproduct of that service. So this is something to reflect on and think about. Now, if you're a current client listening and this stirred up questions for you and you want to come get coaching on it, come get coaching. I am more than happy to help you with this, help you refine, help you tweak, help you think about it in new ways. If you are not a client of mine, but you want to be, join my program. We'll link it up in the show notes for you. All right, happy manifesting money. Hey, thanks for listening. I hope this episode is something that you'll be able to add to your manifestation toolbox to come back to when you need a little extra motivation. If you like what you've heard today and want to take it deeper, you've got to come check out my signature coaching program, the Money Manifestation Movement. It's the place where you'll not only learn manifestation, but you'll begin to live it alongside me and an amazing community of like-minded entrepreneurs doing this work together. Head on over to jamieberman.com to learn more.